Hey guys, welcome to ARM Accounting. This is Andrew Malo, CPA and QuickBooks Pro Advisor. Today we will be talking about billable expenses. It's common for businesses, especially those who are handling client projects, to spend on expenses that the customer should pay for. Tracking these expenses so that it can be charged to customers is quite a challenge for business owners and bookkeepers. QuickBooks Online solution to this is quite simple. It allows you to tag expenses as billable either to a customer, a sub-customer, or a project. QuickBooks Online then creates a non-posting transaction that you can use later to bill customers for these expenses. So in order to use this feature, we must go to our account and settings first. Let's click on the gear icon and click on account and settings. Then go to your expense tab. And on the first field, bills and expenses, let's click on this. So for the first item, show items table on expense and purchase form. Normally, when we create an expense transaction, we just charge that directly to a GL account. But if you want to use an item instead, you can also switch this on. The next one is track expenses and items by customer. This will create an additional column where you can choose your customer. So we will switch this on. The next one is make expense and items billable. So we switch this on as well. So if you want to charge a markup so that you can cover administrative expense and things like that, you can also do that by clicking this box and choosing your markup rate. Let's put this to 5%. Now when you check this box right here that says track billable expenses and items as income, what happens is your books would retain the expense account that was debited when you created the expense transaction. And when you bill this to your customer, it would also credit an income account. So both of these transactions would appear in your profit and loss statement. If you don't check this box, what happens is when you bill this customer, it will only credit the expense account that was previously debited when you created the expense transaction. So it will only be reversed. It will not appear in your profit and loss statement. However, for this example, we will not track billable expenses as income. So we will leave this box unchecked. Now let's hit save. Now, if you want to assign a different GL account for your markup, you can also do that by going to your advanced tab and opening your chart of accounts settings. Now you can choose your GL accounts from this drop-down list, but for this example, we will stick to the default account, which is markup. You can change that and hit save and close. Then click on done. Okay, now we're all set. Let's create our first billable expense. On the left navigation pane, go to expenses. Click on new transaction and choose expense. So for this example, let's choose equipment rental. Then let's say $500. Let's make this billable. The markup will appear, and then let's charge this to Great Sample Homes. As you can see, this customer has a sub-customer. So we will be talking about sub-customers later on. So let's click on the parent customer and then hit save. Then let's go to the transaction journal. So if you look at the entry, it's a debit to equipment rental, which is an expense account, and a credit to cash and cash equivalent. Now let's bill this to our customer. On the left navigation pane, go to Sales and click on Invoices. Then click on New Invoice. Then let's choose our customer, Great Sample Homes LLC. Notice that a drawer on the right side of the screen appears and it shows our billable expense. Then let's click on Add. Okay, so now it's here, and then we click on Save. Then let's look at the entry on the transaction journal. So it's a debit to accounts receivable for $525, which is the expense plus the markup. a credit to equipment rental expense for $500, which is essentially the reversal entry of our expense transaction, and a credit to markup. Great Sample Homes LLC is our parent customer. GSH Roofing Team is our sub-customer. Now, when you charge a specific expense to a sub-customer, you should be very clear on whether you want to bill the sub-customer or the parent customer. Because one of the common issues from this is when you charge an expense to a sub-customer, then you bill the parent, but the billable expense does not appear. Let me show you an example. I'm creating an expense, but this time I'm making it billable to the sub-customer, which is GSH Roofing Team. Okay, then I'll hit save. Now I'm creating an invoice, and notice that when we choose our parent customer, the billable expense does not appear. Here's how you can fix it. Go to your customer list and click on the sub-customer. Then click on edit. And then click on this drop-down button and switch to bill with parent. Then hit save. Now let's go back to our invoice. Let's create a new invoice. Then let's choose our parent customer. Then the billable expense that we have charged against GSH Roofing Team will appear. Okay, let's click on this, then hit save. Okay, so let's talk about projects. Projects are very similar to sub-customers in terms of functions in QBO. It's advisable to use if you can clearly define a task as a project. The downside to that is the lack of hierarchy. There's only one level to a project, unlike a customer that can make a sub-customer and a sub-sub-customer. Charging an expense to a project will only allow you to bill the customer. You can, by the way, convert sub-customers to projects when needed. So remember, if you're using QuickBooks Online, there is a feature that can help you manage your billable expenses so that you don't rely on complicated lists, and managing your billable expenses will be a lot easier. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you'll find this helpful. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.